Thursday, May 7th. Today we're talking parables. If you remember back 2 days ago, we said parables were the way of teaching for Jesus. So today we're going to read four short, very short parables, and we're going to have to determine the plot and the theme of the parable. So there is a lot of connection going on with language arts, all that work that you did last week in language arts to help with theme that is helping with social studies now. So our agenda today, 2 thumbs up. You're watching your video lesson. I'm going to read to you the four short parables. If I were you right now, you could either open those up so you can follow along with me or open up the assignment on Schoology. There are four questions. You have to match the theme to the parable. Before we get started, let me remind you that what a parable is. The parable is a part of an oral storytelling tradition. It can be found just as far back in history as a fable. So we know Aesop's fable. Like the fable, the parable is another type of allegorical story that delivers a clear message about human behavior in the hopes of getting people to act differently. That's that theme, what changed us, what changed the character. It differs from a fable in that it uses people as characters rather than animals. So fable and parable can be synonymous with each other. They are different because a fable uses animals and a parable uses people. All right. Oh, it's awfully dark in this room. And it seems that my light bulb is burnt out. Bummer. Hold on, let me try this. Maybe that helped just a little bit. Okay, maybe you can see my face now. Hi, guys. So we are looking at the four short parables. Literature of the New Testament parables. Parable of the fig tree. Jesus told this story. A man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard. He came looking for some fruit on the tree, but he found none. So the man said to his gardener, I have been looking for fruit on this tree for 3 years, but I never find any. Cut it down. Why should it waste the ground? But the servant answered, Master, let the tree have 1 more year to produce fruit. Let me dig up the dirt around it and put some fertilizer. If the tree produces fruit next year, good. But if not, you can cut it down. What do we think that lesson is? Parable of the lost son. In this parable, Jesus tells of the wasteful son. Jesus says that a rich man had 2 sons. The younger son took his inheritance money and traveled to a faraway land. He spent all his money on friends and parties. The older son stayed home and helped his father work. Before long, the younger brother ran out of money and all his friends left him. A famine spread throughout the land, and the young son could only find work taking care of pigs. He became so hungry that he wanted to eat the scraps that he fed the pigs. Finally, the young son decided that the servants in his father's house were better off than he was, so he began his long journey back home. When the younger son returned, his father forgave him and held a great feast to celebrate his return. The older brother was very angry, but the father told him that he must forgive his younger brother and rejoice. They should be thankful because the younger brother had not been lost, but now he is found. Wonder what that's teaching us. Parable 3, Parable of the Lost Sheep. Be careful, don't think these little children are worth nothing. I tell you that they have angels in heaven who are always with them, my Father in heaven. If a man has 100 sheep, but one of his sheep gets lost, he will leave the other 99 on the hill and go to look for that lost sheep. I tell you the truth, if he finds it is happier about the one sheep than about the 99 that were never lost. In the same way, your Father in heaven does not want any of these little children to be lost. And the last parable, parable of the Good Samaritans. We read about this one in our chapter reading. A man who was listening to Jesus preaching asked Jesus, who is my neighbor? Jesus answered by telling a story about a man who was on his way from Jerusalem to Jericho. Robbers attacked him. They tore off his clothes, beat him, and left him to die by the side of the road. 2 local people passed by and saw the man, but they did not stop to help him. Then a Samaritan who was a stranger came along. When he saw the man, he felt sorry for him. He took care of the injured man, but put him on his donkey and took him to an inn to rest. The Samaritan paid for everything. When Jesus finished the parable, he asked, which of the 3 men was a neighbor? Jesus' listener responded, the one who showed him mercy. Jesus said, go and do likewise. What you're doing is you're listing the characters, plot, and lesson for each of these 4 parables in your Schoology assignment. If you have any questions or concerns, please shoot me a message. And if you need any help, I'm always here. Thanks and have a good day.